take it like a knife. Anybody that thinks it isn't sharp in this method, if you take here, I mean, you use it like a knife. I could actually whittle both bark, and you can see, and wood. Okay, so this may not be the technique that everybody's going to teach you out there, but this is an off-grid, quick and easy way to sharpen the head of an axe. This axe head, it doesn't belong to this, but we did make it work. In order to sharpen it, we didn't always have everything that you would need to sharpen it. I was taught when I was a young man that I could take a stone and sharpen this if I had to. Like if I was in need, I could also use a leather belt then to brush it up. We don't always have the means to do the things we want to, or grab the tools that we think we need, or the world tells us that we need, because we invest in ministry. We are good stewards, as the Lord would have it, of the monies that he provides us with. And that's why we don't have to live in this off-grid like this, but we choose to in order to serve the Lord in what we do. We buy our tools at yard sales. This is a file. It's a medium file. I just want to tune up. I don't have a garage to put these things in, and I don't have a tool shed, and so sometimes they take the brunt of the weather. But if I take this file and I stay off the edge, everybody says, well, don't you want the edge sharp? Well, certainly I do, but I'm going to get to that. I take this file and I move in one direction, and I keep the same angle the whole way. And I know some people out there are saying, you're crazy, that's not how that works, you're not supposed to do it this way. We be crazy, let it be for God. If we be sane, let it be for you. And I've got another one here about the same grip. Maybe it won't make as much noise as that one. I'm running an angle that's staying off of the edge, coming very close to it. I'm staying off that edge. I don't want to tamper with my edge. I'm going to form the edge as I go. I keep one angle. A lot of people say, hey, you know, that's not how I would do it. This is how I would do it. And maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, maybe there's a better way. But I know this has worked for us here in the off-grid. One angle. And don't change the angle. Run it toward that edge. In a video we did a while back, there were those that might have thought, hey, that's never going to work. And I did this in a video when we made the latrine. But I also, to prove a point in that video, I whittled a piece of wood with it like a knife. And you can see it start to brighten up a little bit. We can already start to feel that edge a little. And then I'm going to turn it back. And I'm going to run this angle. See this angle? I feed that angle all the way. And I can do it quicker. That's what I'm doing. I'm feeding an angle. If you want to see it slower again, I can drag it the same way. I'm holding the angle though. And you can already feel it starting to brighten up down there. I'm going to do the same thing the other way. Pretty sharp. I could use this in an emergency, but there are some burrs there. Because I did not embrace the edge completely, because I don't want to fiddle with that edge with a file. This is what's called a whetstone. We picked that up at a yard sale. You can spit on it, and for the sake of the video, I don't know that people want to see me spitting, so I'm going to do that. The same type of an angle. Some people say you go in circles, you can do that. I'm not so skilled at that, so I utilize both. But I try to keep that same angle to take the burrs off. And like I said, I can go in circles, take those burrs off. I just want to stay off the edge. I want to run this out to the edge and not on the edge, because I'm trying to create an edge. And if I do that, I'll be defeating the purpose. Get that wet. I'm around to my edge. This side, I'm just going to run out this way and come back. Doing circles. Yes, that's what we need in there. I don't know if the camera can pick any of that up. I mean, you could whittle the bark off of a tree with this. And I like to come back, call me crazy, but I just like to keep an edge here. And I'm staying away from the edge here. What I'm doing is enhancing the portion of the blade that would bring everything to the point that I just made, to the edge that I just made. And this is an old one, so there are lots of dings and nicks along the way. So I'm trying to enhance what would guide me to my point. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I like right there. So I've got a sharp edge, and now I'm guiding everything to that sharp edge. And that gives me a little more exposed steel then to go ahead and on that taper, now I can use that taper as a guide to reconstitute and further sharpen my edge. Where I like to run circles is out here or in here, but you can run circles the whole way around it. This angle is the key, that you're not tilting it into the blade. Very important. If I start to do this number, I'll affect my edge. I can run out this way with it, keeping the same angle, or I can go in circles as long as this angle doesn't change. Angle is everything. And that's what we've been looking for. See all the dings on this thing from through the years. It's in the end out here. I could sharpen that thing down. And right now this is sharp as a knife. It will whittle. And we have some footage to show that. This may not be what a lot of people use, but it is effective. I just want to show you how effective it can be. I mean, it's effective enough that I got bark, and I can whittle wood with it too if I wanted to. But I think that's all I'm going to need for today. I just have a small dead elm down here. We're just going to take down for some firewood. So that's what I was looking to do. And don't let anybody make fun of your methods if they work. Go out and do what you're going to do, and let's not criticize each other. Let's go out and share the tips that we have in fellowship and glorify the Lord in our unison. And it may not be pretty, but it's off-grid perfect. So we've got this little elm out here. It's not big, but we don't need big for our campfire. For our campfire, cooking down salves, cooking dinner, making medicines, all the different things that we do there. I see there's some grapevines up here, and I'm just gonna, and that's how sharp that was from our sharpening. Want to get that out of the way. We're gonna get a spin out of this tree because of the branch that's up there. But if you look this way, I've got a really good escape route, and look at that, sharpening that. It's cutting away the multiflora rose. I'm pretty sure it's an elm now. By looking at the bark back here, pretty sure it's an elm. Downward stroke, and it bit in pretty good on the sharp side. And you can do a couple of those, or you can then come in at an angle here. You just downward stroke. Then you want another downward stroke, and then this stuff comes away. Now we got a place to start. There are a couple verses in Matthew chapter 3, verses 8 and 10, that refer to a time when the Pharisees had come to John the Baptist These were church leaders of the day that didn't quite get what he was talking about. He even called them a brood of vipers, and he warned them to flee from the wrath that was to come. He says this in verse 8 through 10. Therefore, produce fruit consistent with repentance, and do not assume that you can say to yourself, we have Abraham as our father, for I tell you that God is able to raise up children from these stones. And the axe is already at the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree that does not bear good fruit is being cut down and thrown into the fire. So we consider the Lord and his commandments, and we consider the Lord and his word when sharpening an axe and when falling a tree. And we consider that in our spirit so that we wouldn't be that tree that gets cut down by doing the things that don't glorify the Lord. That could be pride. That could be greed. That could be sexual iniquity, drunkenness. That could be hate for your neighbor when Christ says, love your neighbor.
Another verse to consider is Ecclesiastes 10:10, where Solomon says, if the axe is dull and he does not sharpen its edge, then he must exert more strength. Wisdom has the advantage of bringing success. That's a workout, huh?
There you go. That's a full off-grid old man CrossFit.
Looks like a beaver's been after it.
Yeah. Well, look how sharp the axe is. All these smooth cuts.
That's from that.
That's one swipe.
Yeah.
Of penetration.
Yep.
And I'm not going to go online and ask AI to make it pretty for me. I'm not going to do anything but show you. It's good.
That is good.